All right, what is up, guys? So today I really wanted to dive into something that I felt like was super important for the channel. I wanted to just completely get it out of the way and really lay out what my theology is. I spoke about it a little bit in my first video, but I didn't really get to dive into it. And there's so many layers. Everyone knows. Everyone knows a Christian who has this reason, who wasn't a Christian and was a Christian, or was a Christian who wasn't a Christian, or everyone finds it in a different way, and comes to their conclusions in a completely different way. So I was just going to go down a few points that I wrote down that kind of I feel like encompass my theology as a whole. So first, I grew up non-denominational. From the time I was very young till I was in my teens. I went to a super church. I mean, it was a mega church. It's one of the biggest in the area I'm from. One of the most well-funded. Had not a great experience. I mean, just outright didn't. It wasn't the best experience ever. It was very new age. It was very up with the times, but as you can see, I grew up in it and I never found God. Okay, so this is my biggest problem with the type of church that I grew up in. Fun fact, I was saved at 5 years old. I mean, what else do I gotta say? I know some people believe that, that's when you get to, there are probably sects out there that believe that. Me, on the other hand, a 5-year-old just does not encompass what they're saying. And that was my situation. I was very sure. I answered all the questions, got baptized in front of the entire church, told them I knew God, I knew Jesus personally. And in reality, I didn't. I didn't know who that was. I didn't know any of the stories. I knew John 3:16, but who doesn't? Yeah, it was just not a great experience growing up. It was something that made me start having a lot of questions because there weren't a lot of questions asked. That was like the biggest problem. There weren't questions asked there. People went every Wednesday, every Sunday, and you'd go listen. You'd go get free coffee, and it was just like it was a big show. At least with most people I went to church with, and that caused me as I got older to have not a place for me to ask the questions with people that I trusted, because I didn't feel like any of the people there, they might have been preaching one way, but to me they were living a different way. So just to get it out there, I just want to lay out flat out, I have no problems with people who are believers. Not even a smidge of an issue. Mine is more of a personal problem. It's not a worldly problem. I'm very much in the belief that if you have a theology that you're devout to and that, isn't like a hellish ideology, it's just going to improve your life. It's going to give you structure. It's going to give you balance. It's going to give you something to be calm at the end of the night, to be able to take that deep breath. It gives you someone to talk to, someone to listen to you. And I feel like there's just so many pros. And of the people I know in my life, almost all of them are devoutly Christian. They all are. And it's truly because I do respect people who have found it. In the same way that I respect people that have questioned it. It's a mutual respect across the board. But I kind of look at atheists. So nihilist atheist is my biggest gripe. Okay, and that's coming from a non-believer. Nihilist atheism is not it. It's not it to me. It is a for sure belief in something that isn't for sure. They don't have as much evidence. They don't even have any evidence to back what they're saying against Christianity. But yet they are stern. They're stern and they're strong. But none of this matters. None of this blah blah blah. And I get grouped with them so much for being a non-believer, and so I like to really set a hard line. Like there's those guys and there's me. Where I like to categorize myself though is non-resistant non-belief. So there's resistant non-belief, which is what I would consider I'd categorize most atheists into that. And that might be a little over. But so many of them are so stern into the idea that they know there is nothing. And even if there was something, they would discount it and throw it away. That's not my case. My case is that I haven't gotten the evidence yet that I need. And as soon as I get that evidence, as soon as I get what I'm asking from God, or from any religion, any theology, as soon as I get the for sure what these other people talk about, maybe even stronger, maybe even a step above. If I like, kind of like I said in my first video, if I had a biblical experience, there wouldn't be a question. I wouldn't question. If I was in Joshua's army, you wouldn't have a guy questioning. You'd have a believer. If I was any of the Israelites, you'd have a believer, because they seen such crazy magic, like just masterful, divine authority that there's no room. There's no room, and that's what I feel I request from God. And that's kind of what getting into my next point is my problems with Christianity. And the only reason I'm singling out Christianity is because that's what I grew up in. That's my home religion, I would say. One of my biggest, kind of like what I just said, the evidence. So I'm currently reading through the Bible, and I haven't found it. I watch videos on it. The evidence isn't there, and I know there is evidence that is good enough for some people, some believers. But as far as historical, rock solid evidence, it's just not there for me. It's never really hit the points. Bad actors is another one. And a lot of this could be so biased because of the situation I grew up in, but bad actors have pretty much demolished Christianity for me. It really has put a sour taste in my mouth off the fact of I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen bad actors, and it started to make me realize: are these everywhere? Are these in every sect? Is this in every group, every church, every congregation? That being said, I know it's not. And I know some people will probably be like, it's not mine. Like, mine is completely, good faith actors. I would just need to see it. I would need to see it. And keep in mind, these things are kind of things that would need to stack on top of each other. Another thing is just my life. Just across the board, I've had things happen in my life that are just hard to explain. It's hard that a lot of people that grow up with an amazing life, which is not a stab at them, that's awesome. And I'm so happy for the people that have grown up with a fantastic life. I really, really am. But some of the things that have happened to me in particular have just left me with this, how? Where were you moment? And it kind of all relates back to evidence. If he would talk to me, you'd have me. If I could hear his voice the way that people heard his voice in the Bible, you'd have a stout Christian. You'd have a stout believer. I'd never question. Hell, I might quit my job and do mission work for all I know. So there is a lot of different ideologies I bounce in between. So I go from, sometimes I talk about it and I feel kind of pantheistic in the way that the universe itself is God. Like, it's God. It is a machine that is thoughtless. It is a machine that is emotionless, and it makes. I've had spurts of my life that I believe that. I've had spurts of my life where I'm a nihilist, especially in my teen years when I was much younger and underdeveloped. I've gone through the ideologies of monotheism versus polytheism. I used to use the analogy, one guy, it wasn't just one dude that completely made the first car. It was a combination of this patent that goes together. And I said, even though I don't believe in polytheism, if I had to pick one, that's the one that made the most sense to me, that there's multiple layers to this. Do I think that's the case now? No, but that's just to kind of lay out where I've been, where I've jumped to. If I had to really put my finger on it, though, and really categorize myself as something, flat out, it would be, I'm an open mind leaning towards my evidence I can see and understand. And that's it. I don't like to categorize myself because I'm so much of the atheist, non-believer group of, I don't know. I have no idea, and I don't like to put my cards in anyone's hats. And I've heard so many counters to that, to the I don't know, and it's like, how is that okay with you? But it's the same way of, I think some of the smartest people in the early centuries would have been the people saying I don't know. I think they ended up being more right than the people that were like, this is this, this is this. And a couple of examples of that would be, lightning. Motherfucker,
Right.
1100, what are they going to think? What are they going to think when they see lightning? Well, immediately, or whenever, let's go the year 20. Lightning was happening in the year 20. Someone sees lightning in the year 20. They're not thinking that it is what it has the scientific alignment that it does. They're immediately jumping to, that was crazy, that was God. Like, God is angry, God's mad at us, he's sending lightning, until we figured out what lightning was. And that's what, like, right now, it's so easy to say, well, what was the Big Bang? Like, what happened on that day? And for me, it's just, I can step back and I can say, I don't know, but I think we're going to figure it out. I don't know. Because it's just that is the way with everything. They used to think that snow and hail was stored in silos, that God had them stored in silos. Now we know that's not the case. We know it's not the case. We know that water freezes at a certain point and it has different conditions that makes it fall in different conditions. And I just think that the God of the gaps just doesn't fit it for me. So it's so much easier to say, I don't know. I don't know. And I'm completely comfortable in that. And that's why I think it benefits me so much to be able to talk to everyone the way that I do and to be able to hear everyone out. I don't dismiss not a single ideology, completely dismiss it as that's impossible. Even God, even though it doesn't make sense to me, I say all the time, I can see where you're coming from. I can, and I do understand it, and I can even put myself in your shoes and relate. But it's this hard line in my brain that if there's not the evidence there, then there's not the belief for me. And I'm not going to be a faux believer. It would be dishonest to myself and to all my friends and all the people in my life. And I know me. I know what I need. Let's see what else we got here. So just to get it out there, I just wanted to say next week, this video was just my second video. I really wanted everyone to kind of get an idea of who I was theistically, where I stand before I start critiquing other people's ideologies. I wanted to put mine in the air for full critiquement. So if there's anything that you have a problem with, I said, anything that you have questions about, my views on, please ask. Please ask. You'll probably be brought up in a future video. You'll probably start being used in arguments I have with all of my friends. And I say arguments, but they're very lighthearted arguments. We get into it, but we all love each other at the end of the day. Like I said, just please ask any questions. If you watch this yet again for even 1 second, you're the man, you're the woman, you're the best, you're the coolest. I appreciate you giving someone like me your time. I really genuinely do. I want to just give y'all the best I can. I want to give y'all my voice, and hopefully it just, not even if it helps people, but just helps people learn something. That's all that matters to me. But yeah, if you could please like and subscribe to my channel, Skyward Doctrine. It's the new thing. I'm going full in on it. And like I said, any questions, please ask. I'm all ears. Thank you guys again. And just remember, don't forget to always look skyward. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.